Hi there. Monday morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hi there. Monday morning. Welcome to the Sister Show. Hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. It's a bit miserable down here in Plymouth.
Oh, it's awful.
Typical autumn. Well,
Vibes.
actually, you say that it's autumn weather. I wouldn't say it's that autumny because I imagine autumn to be crisp and cold, but it's actually gone
Wet.
quite damp and
awful.
wet and
Yeah.
awful. I think it's setting the mood.
Yeah.
It's a bit of foreshadowing going on here. Setting the mood for what's to come. Boris is making another announcement tonight. So we'll see where we're going and what's happening in regards to a second lockdown. Do you think there's going to be a second lockdown?
I think there's speculation that it's going to be over the half term, isn't there? I don't know. I did think there was going to be a local one. I just feel like now if it's going to happen, just get on with it because it's like a waiting game, isn't it?
People are waiting, aren't they?
Yeah.
And also the fact that they're going to do 3 tiers of lockdown.
Yeah.
I think it was leaked to the press, and I think that was irresponsible of the government to do that because we've been waiting since last week. That's not good on people's mental health and anxiety and things like that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, and that's one of the main things that really irritates me about how unprofessional things are done.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so this is the Sister Show. Week 3. I'm I-tasha again, and this is
Sian Healy.
and this week we are going to focus on infant and pregnancy loss awareness, as it is Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Week. But before we go on to that, we are just going to catch up with other things and other news and so on. So how was your weekend?
Mine was good. We've already spoke about this, but I had my homely roast. I've been cooking banana bread. I've been cooking cheesecake.
You've turned into a proper wifey. Not that you was.
That's never going to happen.
Not that you was before, but now you are conforming to the role of a wifey.
I'm a mum again. I've got puppy mum.
Oh God.
I'm a puppy mum.
This is Sean, who had a puppy shower. You know, like normal people have a baby shower. Sean had a puppy shower at school. It's cool.
And
it's
the
good.
babies were born on Saturday, so yeah, I'm now a mum to a beautiful baby girl. And yeah, so my weekend's been very good.
I actually
very
think you've won there. You
have.
didn't have to give birth and you don't have to breastfeed. Win-win.
Listen, my nipples have had their time. My nipples have had their time. They're the size of chocolate digestives and they droop down to the floor. That's not the one for me anymore, unfortunately.
What have you been watching?
So I told you earlier about that Teddy Pendergrass. My mum messaged me asking me to watch it. It was on BBC Two in the week. I
didn't know his name. Sing the song. I'm not singing it.
Oh, I forgot what the song is again. What did the song?
I heard it through the grate.
No, it wasn't even that song. It was definitely not that song.
Who's that?
If you don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not singing.
It was him.
Yeah.
So,
was it an autobiography sort of?
So an autobiography.
Yeah.
Showed parts of his life, things that went on. I did fall asleep towards the end. I'm not going to lie, because it was a bit late. But
that's not because it was boring. That's because you were tired.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go back and just catch up on the end. But it was really good. And I think with it being Black History Month, they're playing as many kind of stories as they can. And it was really good, really interesting. It's long.
Yeah.
But I recommend anyone to give it a go because he had an accident as well. So
see, I didn't know about that accident.
No, and he ended up paralysed. And it was really, really good. It was really
educational.
Yeah, and do you know what? My heart is in the 60s and 70s music.
Oh yeah, you can't beat the old classics. That to me, that is like real R&B. Do you know what I mean?
I'd have probably ended up in a lot of trouble, but it just is the best music.
Yeah,
that's my soul is back there.
Yeah, I know, I get that.
How about you?
A few of my friends, I could see them sharing on their stories. The film Rocks.
Oh yeah.
That I told you that I watched by Sarah Gaveron. And again, you've got to watch it. It's such a good film, and it's just over an hour and a half long. It's available on Netflix, but it's such a feel-good film.
Is this the one you were saying about the girl gets left
first? Yeah. But it's just like now more and more people have watched it. And actually, somebody I used to work with, he said that one of his best friends was the producer on
Okay, right.
on the film, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, because it's an all British realism film. And do you know what? I don't get me wrong, I love American things, and I will watch things like Greenleaf, The Good Job, Good Trouble, and all those kind of American series. But it is nice to have something British.
Yeah, I get you.
Something so you see a familiar setting, normal accents, people like us who we can identify with. Because don't get me wrong, yeah, we're all good. You know, America, we're all humans underneath and whatever. But it's nice, and that's why I like things like Bullet Boy, Top Boy. Kidulthood, all those kind of British realism films, because we can relate to them and identify with them. So if anybody wants to watch a good film, honestly, I highly recommend you watching it.
Yeah,
it's such a good film. Another thing what happened over the weekend, Marcus Rashford receiving an MBE in recognition of his services for vulnerable children in the UK during COVID-19. Did you know, here's a fact for you, because you love your facts, don't you? 1 in 5 families in the UK don't have access to food.
Do you know, I would have said probably more, if I'm honest.
Well, this is how, you know, stats are...
Yeah. 1 in 5.
1 in 5, that's sad. And we're the 6th richest country in the world. To me, that's sad. Like, why?
I've seen a few people that have needed to use the food bank.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I think about what's in my cupboards... and how people could make use of the stuff that's in my cupboards and I still go shopping. Yeah. It makes me feel sick sometimes, because I think you actually don't know how lucky you are. As long as I've got food in my cupboards and gas and electric and a roof, like, you really don't know how lucky you are.
Well, the thing is, I don't know how it works. I shouldn't say that. I don't know how it works. Well, my daughter has free school dinners. Saffron does, the eldest. And those vouchers really helped, and it was only £15 a week. Yeah, but it helped. Massively. Do you know what I mean? It helped massively, and I was so grateful. Yeah. For Marcus for carrying it on throughout the summer holiday. Well, he campaigned to carry it on throughout the summer, because actually the government were going to stop them for the 6 weeks holidays. And when you think about it, the 6 weeks holidays is the hardest time.
I'm just Googling him. I've seen you sharing him.
Yeah, he plays for Man United. He plays for Man United. Not a fan of Man United, even though I can't tell the boy that, because that's his team.
I'm still, every week you say Boyf, it's just, you know.
He's a Boyf, I'm young, he's a Boyf. Yeah. He supports Man United, so he's always raved about Rashford, to be fair, and I've never took much notice of him, because it's not my team, but yeah, he's only 22, and I found a quote that he said, and I truly believe this: no matter what your views are, a child doesn't deserve to go hungry. And he grew up in a family of 5.
Wasn't he quite? Didn't he have like not a hard time?
Well, he grew up in a family of 5. She was a single parent, and so on and so on. And it's true, a child doesn't deserve.
Is he the one that bought his mum her house, or?
No, that was my boy. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. He plays for Man City, and he runs like that. My godson says he runs like that. Oh, I can't remember his name. My mind's gone blank. But yeah, you know, that's not the one who bought his mum a house. But I would imagine Rashford has bought his mum a house. But I just think, when I see him in the interviews, I think he's got a lot more to do, because he was like, it's not over yet. I want to continue doing things. And you know what? I think footballers get a hard time. And I think they get a harder time because, especially black footballers, I'm going to put it out there, black footballers always get a hard time. They always want to be painted negative in the media, and actually you do get the odd ones who do stupid things, but then they're young, they've got all this money, but it's hard work. You know, they have to train, sponsorship, they're away from their families. If it's a World Cup year or European year, they're they're away from their families for that time, or the season doesn't really end, they go straight into that. And also I just can't, I feel like you can't begrudge people on what they earn, because it's almost classed as entertainment as well. So people watch football for entertainment, the buzz of it. And why are we so quick to question how much footballers earn when nobody questions the bankers? What about the shareholders who are getting millions of bonuses and things like that? Why don't they contribute? Like the first thing the government said, well, footballers need to step forward. They need to help out. They need to... what about the bankers and all those shareholders? Don't they need to step forward? Do they need those bonuses?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, Raheem Sterling.
Oh, is that
Raheem
him?
Sterling.
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling. I was thinking about it. Yeah, Raheem Sterling. I love him. Raheem Sterling. He's heritage Jamaican as well.
Really?
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, to Marcus, well
Yeah,
done.
amazing.
Really proud. Did you watch Enslaved yesterday?
No, so
No.
I need to catch up.
So I can't talk about it too much. Then.
Well, I mean, you can, because...
All I'm saying is get the box of tissues ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a couple of weeks ago I sent the link to you on
Yeah,
Instagram.
you did actually.
And so I saw the clip for it.
The promo link.
And I remember thinking, this is up our street. So I'm ready for it. But, you know, it's going to be one of those.
Do you know what? What got me, and I feel like I'm welling up now, is like...
Don't cry on me.
It's like... Sometimes you read these stories about slavery and stuff like that, and you get a bit detached. Not detached. Not detached. Detached is not the right word. But it's almost like, okay, that was Africa, that was the Caribbean, that was America. But when they're talking about slave ships that sank near Cornwall, okay, which is like, what? How long would it take us to get over the bridge to Cornwall now? About half an hour, because it's good traffic now. 15 minutes probably, actually, because it's good traffic now. The kids are in school. And that, what brings it close to home. And it's like, wow, ships, slave ships carrying our ancestors, you know, sank like 15 minutes away from us. Well, not 15 minutes away. It was 15 minutes to drive into Cornwall. But if we went to, Land's End, it would probably, take us about 2.5, 3 hours?
Yeah.
It wouldn't take us that long to get to Land's End now. And that's what brings it all home. And, Afia Hirsch, she also wrote the book British, which is brilliant. It's about British identity and a sense of belonging. And she really challenges a lot of... and asks a lot of questions on what it means to be British. So it was her and Samuel L. Jackson. And actually in there, I saw a different side to her because she was actually quite angry. Like, I could feel her tone coming through. And Samuel L. Jackson saying that you can't believe. And what gets to me is the fact that you will still say people, oh, you need to get over it. But how can you get over it when you're seeing things like that and they're telling you, and there's reenactments in it so you can see like what was going on, how the slaves were kept in the ships and things like that. And, you know, people never, ever, ever say, get over the Holocaust. No one ever says that. Nobody. I've never, ever heard anybody say, get over the Holocaust. You know, deal with it. You know, I've never heard anybody say, let's put up a statue of Hitler. That's history. I've never heard anybody say that. But yet still, when people want to tear down a statue of ex-slave owners, people who have contributed to slavery and colonisation, there's an argument, there's a problem. Yet still, when we want to remember and look at slavery, people are like, forget over it. That was hundreds of years ago. Okay? They don't realise that what happened then is the impact of what we have got now, where we are now as black people, and you know the hierarchy of white people and black people. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a really, really good watch. And the one line I take from it is one of the they're like divers, so I don't want to take too much, but they dive down and they try and find the things like which were lost, like during the shipwreck and stuff. And one of them says, we need to remember that black history, and you know we have a problem calling it black history, but black history doesn't start with slavery. It was interrupted by slavery. And I think that's, it was interrupted. Because you imagine, we were kings, we were queens, we had our own tribes, we had families, you know, we had our own communities. And then these people just come and take you. I can't even imagine how scared people. Imagine, so imagine your family, and then somebody comes to your village, takes you, and puts you one place, separates your children from you because they see you as less and you probably don't see Isaiah again. You know, it's all those kind of things. So it is a really, really good watch. It's educational as well, but it does make you think, like, because when they're saying certain things, like narrating, they're showing reenactment, so it automatically makes you think, oh my God, like, you know. But the fact that it was near to the Cornwall, that's...
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what you think about it next week, because obviously if you catch up this week, there'll be one next Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another Netflix series called Social Dilemma. Have you watched that?
No.
It's about people's attitudes towards social media, and how social media has impacted on our everyday lives, and how the touch of a button can get you to buy something, and talks about fake news, and, you know, all those kind of things,
Yeah.
and how manipulated we are.
True.
So my question to you is, what do you do for self-care and social media?
Social media's got a massive impact on how people perceive other people's lives, 100%. So I do believe sometimes my happiest times are when I've got no reception on my phone, when I go somewhere, because something about a phone is addictive. You're constantly looking on something, doing something, blah, blah, blah. When I took my children to a caravan park that's got no reception or something along those lines, you actually get grounded and realise, wow, it's just so much more healthier. I mean, you don't know what's going on in anyone's life. You literally don't know what's going on in anyone's life. It's all for show. You could see someone upload a load of flowers, but you don't know that they've not just, you know, oh, he's the best, the caption could be, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then you don't know that they haven't had a massive load of, you know, rubbish going on, or, you know, arguments, or, you know, anything could have gone on.
Yeah.
So
you
for
can
me,
manipulate what people see, can't you?
Yeah. Self-care for me, I've got self-care books. I've got about 5 or 6. The Secret is like one of my favourites.
Yeah, you said about that before. Why is it so good?
Because it's how to kind of train your brain to kind of see things differently.
Right.
There's actually now a film called The Secret that's just come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched it yet, but with Katie Holmes in. I read my books. I do daily tasks, whether it be my Miss Hinch book. I say that, my house looks like I've... So, yeah, I will do my Miss Hinch book.
It's your own modern version.
And she's got an activity journal, and how she suffered with anxiety and stuff like that. So you've got little things that you can do. And also I like to listen to meditation apps. My meditation apps, last year, I went through something and they got me through the best. Yeah. Like, the best they could.
My friend Celia always sends me, like, meditation things, like, always, like... It does.
Something about someone's voice saying to you.
But do you know what, though? If I'm really stressed and I'm really low, which I'm not afraid to admit, like, even meditation won't send me to sleep. And I think it's like my brain... No, my brain just won't shut down. Like, and I just go with it because I know what it is now.
How it works.
But for me, self-care is avoiding social media, not participating in group chats, because even group chats can make me anxious sometimes, because it's just ping, ping, ping. I'm just like, oh my God.
Back up.
Like, and sometimes I don't even I don't turn them off, but I just mute them.
Yeah.
And just like, I just want a break from what's going on, like, sort of thing. And my friends worry and they say, oh, when you go quiet, we get worried. But that is literally just me. I'm either that. Yeah, I try and cut down on weekends with social media. But because my mum lives far, that she checks my social media to see how I'm doing if she doesn't hear from me.
Right.
Because she's a nurse, she does night shifts. So she'll always check to see what I've been up to. But I would say since the pandemic, I don't post as much as I used to. I post in my stories so people get a quick view, but on my feed, it's not as... I used to be posting all the time, but but on weekends, I try and take a step back. And do you know what? Yesterday was the first time in a long time that I felt relaxed and I didn't feel anxious. And do you know what it was? When I went to bed and I slept, I didn't listen to the news. Listen to the news. Honestly, I felt so relaxed yesterday. Usually, I'm like, oh my God. And actually, I've got some really important news coming this week, which is like, I should be nervous about. But I think if I listened to the news yesterday, it would have made it worse. The news is just like, oh my God, it fuels your anxiety to like some next level, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't watch the news.
Really?
Never have. My best friend, one of my best friends, Billy, he's insane. And his mum, I've always lived next door to. And so I'm not afraid to admit, about 10 years ago, my anxiety was peak. And I would worry about little things like, oh my God, Notre Dame has said the world's going to end, or something's going to go on, is there going to be a world war? And she used to say to me, she always used to pull me out of it. And it's kind of, she's helped me, and I don't get sucked into things like I used to get sucked into. I try my hardest to set an example to the children so they're not like how I was, because it's not a nice place to be.
No.
So, yeah, the news is one of those that trigger it, because I feel like it's all intense. Yeah,
well, it's like they want to create a moral panic, and they want to panic people, because once you panic people, you've almost got a sense of control over them. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And it's kind of, coronavirus. And before that, it was Brexit. And, so yeah.
And definitely. How much better do you feel if you exercise?
Oh, well, you know me, exercise. Like, that's...
But, like, through the pandemic, I went through a really good stage of going for a run all the time, every morning, boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, I just went flat to the point that I wasn't doing it. And the difference in me in the 2 times was massive.
Oh, yeah, definitely, 100%. And obviously Saturday was Mental Awareness Day. I saw a lot of people sharing their experiences and things like that. And I just think life is so much more stressful and so much more intense than it was in previous years and previous generations. And because I think social media does have a lot to play on it. You see on there what it is, and, and you see certain people and you think, oh, they're happy and they seem to have it all, and they don't. They struggle. And Piers Morgan, he's a prime example. He was like, oh, I wonder, Meghan Markle was saying, nobody's asked how I am. What about me? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm sure people are going to be wanting to find out about you and your 5 million house. And I really resent the fact. I resent the fact because he's a dick. But Piers Morgan, I flipping can't stand him. Sometimes he does say certain things. No, actually, I just can't stand him. I'm not even going to say. Sometimes I do agree with him, but actually, no, I don't agree with him. But he does raise some good points. I can't stand him. But anyway.
He was fuming about Boris the other day, wasn't he?
Yeah. But 2, I resent the fact that because she's rich, because she's married to a prince, someone in the royal family, that he's not taking into consideration the fact that she still might be suffering from depression and anxiety and things like that. Anxiety and depression has nothing to do with colour, sexuality, how much money you've got. If you are anxious and depressed, that is just what it is. It's almost like a sickness, isn't it? It's almost like a thing. So you could have all the money in the world and still be depressed.
Look at all the stars.
That's what I'm saying.
And the problem is that people don't give a. I need to watch my
bleep. Bleep.
People don't give a bleep because they'll be the first people to start saying, poor Meghan Markle. If she did something to herself, Meghan Markle.
That's what I'm saying. Look at Caroline Flack.
She had no one. She did but they've been trolling them all this time.
That's what I'm
saying this, that, and whatever. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It makes me. The other day, I try my hardest not to get into rows with anybody online. My hardest.
Yeah.
And
so do I.
Vaz, you love Twitter. Vaz, all he wrote on his friend Chloe's, Morgan.
From Towie, yeah.
Towie. All he did was write on his friend Chloe's post something like, "You look beautiful," something like that. And he, underneath the comment, he was troll. I was like, I just wouldn't normally get involved, but I just was like, what are you all doing?
I know,
like,
they're vile, aren't they?
Why do you find? Like,
why have you got the time to do that?
All he said is she looks beautiful. It's his friend. How is he? Someone said you're so beggy or something. I was like, what is he begging for by telling someone they look beautiful?
And it's his friends, and we don't know their relationship.
It's incredibly close.
Yeah, you can tell they're close.
What the hell? Like, people who breed hate are not happy.
Yeah. Oh God, of course, it's something within inside them.
Yeah.
It's something within inside them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
to be so aggy all the time.
All the time. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Trump. Do you think he had corona?
Honestly, I've got no care. I've got no interest.
Do you know what was funny? One of my besties from America, I've known for like years, and she went back to live in America. She listened to our show last week, and she said, "And you are spot on about the American politics because we don't know what the hell's going on even." So she was like, "Well done for the." Yeah. So, it's just I don't even know. But
do you believe he had it?
I don't know because I do. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But if he did have it, I don't think he's over it. If he did have it. But I do definitely believe that Boris had it because Boris looked ill. Boris looked so ill when he was like that, giving his clap to the NHS. And his eyes were like yellow and stuff like that. And if you look back to the day that Boris went into hospital on that Sunday, if you look the next day, I remember seeing Holly and she had a black dress on. I thought to myself, why is she wearing black? That's not like Holly to wear black. And Philip Schofield, he was all in black, and the newsreaders were all in black. And I reckon that they were all in black for them to announce that the Prime Minister was going to die. I honestly do believe that. Yeah, I do. Because that's when royalty dies or the PM dies, news people have to wear black, don't they? That's what happened. And that's why, did you know this? When anybody of royalty, when they travel abroad, they always have to travel with a black dress, because if the Queen dies, they have to be seen to be in mourning straight away. And the Queen was the first person, because when her dad died, she didn't have a black dress, so they had to get her a black dress before, because she was abroad when he died. And then they had to get a black dress onto the plane. Yeah. And then she could come off the plane because she was seen in mourning. And then from that incident, so like people like Kate, I still even think Meghan will probably still have to do the same, but like Beatrice, all the other ones have to have a black dress whenever they travel abroad. Yeah, just for that. And all the newsreaders the next day were in black. And I really think that Boris was like near the. I don't think he's well enough now.
But he's out in the community. Piers Morgan was fuming about it. Like, he's out, like, interacting with colleges, like, doing. He's gonna.
He really freaks Shiloh out when he comes on stage. She's like, "Why is his hair like that, mummy?" Well, that's your prime minister. Get used to it. Yeah. So I don't know if Trump had it, but I do think that Boris had it. I really, really do, because he just didn't look ill. What do you think about like some of the MPs and the Chancellor telling people in the arts and DJs to go out and get a job? Get a normal job.
I really feel for DJs at the moment. Like, proper feel for DJs. Like, that, this is their whole life.
What about actors and writers as well?
Yeah,
like
and people
singers
in theatres
and all that.
People in theatres. It's awful. Honestly, awful. And go out and get another job.
It's so rude.
Yeah.
I just think it's so. I think it's so rude. Like especially like because DJ is a way of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think DJ is a way of life. It's not like, oh, I just want to be a DJ. Yeah. I mean, these people mix tracks and they entertain people. They're part. I think it's that whole thing with the government being so far detached from what people. Well, that's our entertainment. How many times have you gone out and listened to a really good DJ and you thought, oh my gosh,
definitely.
You know, and just to say, oh, go out and get a job, they're going to receive a $3,000 pay rise.
Yeah, and I mean, if any DJ's like actually bored at the minute, just do us a jingle. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, I can give you like 30 seconds of your time that's going to give you something to do.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out. I know we still haven't had a jingle. But seriously, are there any DJs out there? Like, because it's just not fair now. Because like we've been waiting for ages, haven't we, Sean? We want a jingle. Right, I'm going to do another shout out on Monday. Not on Monday, tomorrow. Any DJs out there wants to give us a 30-second jingle. Literally, 30 seconds jingle. But yeah, the fact that they're going to get a $3,000 pay rise, MPs.
Yeah, I did see that MP, I think you shared it, said that if that, she thinks it's ridiculous, and if it happens to her, she'll donate her
to charity. Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? You got people like 1 in 5 children starving, and they're going to have a pay rise. I mean, the average.
I'm going to like stop what I say
50,
because I just think sometimes it just seems a bit corrupt.
It is. What about something that happened last week? The Pure Gym tweet, the 12 years of slave workout. What did Gareth say about it? Because Gareth's a PT, isn't he?
The first thing he said is, oh, they, beep, beep. And then he said, someone's definitely out of a job.
Do you know it was a black guy that?
And then I said, you know,
you went on his page, didn't you?
Yeah,
what did it say on his page?
He was just getting loads and loads of abuse, and then he uploaded an apology. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. I didn't see his apology. I saw Pure Jim's.
His apology.
Okay. So what does his apology say?
I'm gonna have to. 2 seconds.
I was shocked when I saw it.
Yeah, so he uploaded his apology, and then after he had uploaded his apology, he was still getting loads of abuse because people were saying, you know, you still did it this time last year because he did it. He did this last year.
That's mental.
So
what mentality is he like? Literally, what's his mentality? It doesn't make sense.
This is a very hang on. For those who are coming across me this morning for the first time, I am the individual who posted 12 years of a slave workout yesterday morning via the Pure Gym Luton and Dunstable Instagram account. I sincerely apologise to all whom I may have offended and angered in any way, shape or form, directly or indirectly. There was absolutely no malice or ill intention meant by the post.
Just stupidness.
This was a very ill-judged post, which I am responsible for. There are no excuses for it, only a place from which the post came, which was from a proud black man wanting to bring his history together with his passion and profession. Unfortunately, as a result, I have been vilified, and branded racist. The branding of Pure Gym as racist couldn't be further from the truth of in my experience during my time at the company, which tells me that during my time at the company,
flipping hell,
who's
going to employ him again?
I have never experienced any racial prejudice and have always been given the tools and support needed. This is a very hard lesson for me, and I wholeheartedly apologise to all I have affected. I am deeply sorry. Now, they went in on him on that. Oh,
Jesus God.
Now, I like to always see every side. Listen, bad mistake.
A very bad mistake.
Lesson learned. Education needs to happen, and even though he's an adult, he needed to know if he got away with it once, he thinks he can get away with it again. It's one of those things. What concerns me more is that a year ago he did it and nobody challenged it.
Yeah.
So, you know, just because of this whole Black Lives Matter movement,
why is everybody so
all of a sudden
outraged?
now everybody's kicking off? And is it just another reason to troll him? Because I genuinely did feel I actually want to reach out to him a little bit. You know, his mental health is going to be down. Looking through his page, he is a proud black man. He was all.
How did you manage to get on here so fast? Is it back open?
He's there, man.
Oh my God, it's back open.
He is there. Like, so, you know, we are black men. We build. We don't tear other black men down. Like, that was in June. He
stupid.
You know, good people
make mistakes. Yeah, and we're not all perfect.
Apart from us. But,
shut up. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect.
No, but I just think, you know, give him a break. Oh, and he's actually reading an apology isn't an easy apology, so he's actually spoke now.
Oh my God.
That was 6 days ago.
He's quite handsome as well.
I feel for him because
it was really embarrassing. Really embarrassing.
I assume that he's probably.
I just don't know why he would but like you said, why people outraged now when you know this has been. He did it last year. It makes actually no sense.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Yeah. I can't. When I saw it, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I know. You said I don't know if to laugh or cry. This was a post, but do you know what? Like.
I laughed because I was just like, am I reading this? Especially because obviously I've got a fitness background. Like, there's no way I would come and go into a fitness class and say, right, people, today we're going to do a 12 years of slave workout. Come on.
Do you know what else gets me though? Is that, don't you think that's another prime example of maybe living in Britain? How it's been allowed, how he might, you know, he looked.
You mean got self-hate issues?
Not self-hate issues, but you know me growing up, you know, people have always touched my hair. People have always, you know, said the word around me, and I've kind of I've as I grow up, you know, I have, but you know, I haven't necessarily always challenged, and I always thought my dad was looking into things that
Too much.
I was always being the one.
But your dad's had a very different experience because he grew up
Absolutely.
in Birmingham, isn't it? So
Jamaica.
Yeah.
And so for him, and then when he went to Birmingham, and then when he came down to Plymouth,
Yeah, completely different.
in the Navy, he had
in the 70s as well.
a lot of racism.
Yeah.
And they were against my mum and dad being
Yeah,
together.
of course.
So, you know, he would always say, you know, they're looking out for you. That you will be the first one taken home. And when I was the first taken home by the police in situations, I used to hate my dad because I used to think, stop being dramatic. It's not, they're not picking on me because I'm black. Why are you so bothered about being black? It's nothing to do with being black.
It's not until something happens and you're like, oh, yeah.
And maybe this guy has been in that situation. We don't know where he's lived, what's happened, you know, like, so the fact that he's been allowed to take the mick out of
and nobody's challenged him before.
So maybe that's the way it's been for him. I've been there, so I get it. So like, you know, I think, you know, a lesson learned.
Yeah, definitely. So, question of the week, because you know I like to bring in a question of the week before we go on to our main topic. What do you think about a lad's holiday? Would you let your hubby go on a lad's holiday?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
And he would let me as well.
Yeah.
Like,
you've got that kind of... Because there are some women...
Yeah. I'm lucky Gareth don't want to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He would rather go away for a couple of nights to like a gym convention or something like that. He had planned to do that this year, which I really am gutted for him because COVID then come about. But you know, like the weightlifting and all that sort of stuff, and then going around all the stands. That's what he had planned to do. So he would rather do something like that.
Yeah.
If he went on my brother's stag, my brother's stag was in Portugal. We don't care. We don't care. He knows I'll probably
go. You trust each other.
He knows I'll go away next year. I've never been about that kind of relationship because else there's no point being...
Where we're going with it sort of thing. Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, my God. Well, yeah, of course. Like, he can go off and I like him to go and do his own thing and stuff like that. And before COVID happened, COVID is just the bitch pandemic of 2020. The 13th, was it Friday? Oh, I should have known it was going to be dodgy. Friday the 13th. A week before, or 2 weeks before lockdown, me and my friends were going to Prague.
Right.
For a girly holiday. My idea of a happy life is a holiday with the children. Not just this, but this is one of the things. A holiday with the children, a holiday with the man thing, and a holiday with my girls. And if I can get those three holidays in throughout the year, I'm a happy I-tasha, basically.
What do you mean, holiday, like for a couple of days?
Oh, like a girly holiday. I mean, it doesn't even have to be abroad. It could just be away where I'm not mom, I'm not the girlfriend, I'm not a media account manager, I'm not instructor, I'm I-tasha, I'm myself, where I can just let go and let down my hair and just have fun and just make joke and just drink and things like that. You know, like when you go on holiday, the one thing whenever you go, I've always found when you go on holiday, it's that weird thing of being at the airport or a train station or somewhere and not looking around. Where's Shiloh? Do you know what I mean? I love that whole thing of getting to the airport and just totally relaxing. Your holiday starts there.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for a man or lad's holiday, wherever. And yeah, I know that Ryan wouldn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Do you know what I mean? And he knows Ibiza's my thing. I do like to go there every couple of years, you know. Ibiza. But yeah, so basically, yeah, I think if you've got trust in a relationship, what's the problem? And I've never been that sort of person or that couple to live in each other's pockets.
No.
I like to have my own space. I'm an only child as well, so I'm very, very used to my own space. And actually, I think the pandemic's made me worse. in regards to space, like I'm very much like, oh, I'll just be here and do my own thing, and then see you when I need to see you, and then come.
Yeah, you know
it's made
that
me
thing I
worse.
sent you the other day where that guy was like, "Oh, I'd really like to see you." Oh, pandemic.
Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, it's really
Like
changed
I've said
me.
it to everybody.
Yeah,
Really like to go to your house, but oh,
yeah,
pandemic.
I'm okay just in my own little environment. And like I said last week, it was my friend who actually said, "Oh, you need to get up and more," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just fine here," you know. But yeah, so I would definitely. Yeah, so that's it. So we've rounded up the past week. So I think it's only right that we move on to the next section of our show. Obviously, a trigger warning, because some of the issues we might discuss here might be sensitive. So now's the time to either log off or check back in with us next week, or continue to listen. Because we're hoping that some things will educate you and just bring some awareness. So as you know, this is Infant and Pregnancy Awareness, Loss Awareness Week. So the next section of the show may be sensitive, so we do understand if you do stop listening. So Baby Loss Awareness Week is held annually from the 9th to the 15th of October. It's a special opportunity to mark the lives of babies lost in pregnancy or at or soon after birth. There's a hashtag if you want to follow and find out more information, and it's hashtag BLAW 2020, where women are going to be sharing stories and charities will be discussing ways of how they can support, or how you can support people if you know that they have been through certain situations. So yeah, basically, so each day, hashtag BLAW 2020, charities plan to explore a different topic each day, with the aim of, like I said before, to help people feel less isolated and to spread the message. And there's another hashtag flying about, is "You are not alone." So what are your views? I don't want to say what are your views, but like,
It's just such a heartbreaking situation, really, isn't it? Like for everybody. I mean, in early pregnancy, a lot of women sometimes don't even know they're still pregnant.
yeah,
You know, because it could be maybe
I didn't
the
wish
fifth week.
either.
Yeah, the 5th week, 6th week. So, you know, it would come across as a heavy period, or something like that. From personal experience, I had 2 miscarriages before I had Isaiah. So that time was really strange, actually. It was a really strange time because I was so desperate.
Yeah.
And I was so I was in a really lonely, selfish, I've got to say selfish, which is not for everybody, this is me personally, my opinion. This is how I was looking back. Selfish place that it was all about me. And how I felt and what I wanted.
You just wanted a baby really badly.
That's all I wanted. And I didn't care what. And every month that would come round, I was doing ovulation kits, tests, looking into the different sex positions, and it was an obsession.
Yeah.
It was an obsession. I wasn't having sex with my husband
Yeah.
out of love. It was an obsession.
Yeah.
And it got to a point that we hit a wall almost, you know, because he loved me and
you just wanted a baby.
I'd shut off.
Yeah.
I'd shut off. He was literally the baby making machine, and why couldn't he do it? And why couldn't we get pregnant? Because I know I'm all right. And it was actually a really sad place to be.
Yeah.
It was a really sad place to be. So I don't take this subject lightly. It's a really hard situation.
Well, the fact is, it happens. People, I don't want to say, I'm not just dismissing it, saying people lose babies all the time, but it happens very, very often.
Yeah.
Like within the space of, I would say, from August to now, and we're just halfway through October.
Yeah.
Two of my close friends have had miscarriages.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it happens often.
Yeah.
It does happen more often than people realise. and yeah, it does. And it just makes me think, if that's true of just my friends like close to me now, how many other women are walking around with it? Do you know what I mean? And I'm glad that there is a week aside. Obviously the pain might go on mentally a lot longer than the week, but I'm glad that there is a week that is recognised and that we can think about and remember. One of my cousins, his son was born stillborn as well. Unfortunately, negligence due to the hospital. I can't go into it because there's certain things happening. But again, that happened, and you know, I can't even begin to like explain to you like literally the fact that, you know, we're all in the group chat, my cousins, my aunts and everything, and the group chat, like there's not a day goes past where nothing's in there. There's always a good morning or news going on, and obviously because they're all in Birmingham, that's my main connection. It's quicker than the email or Facebook or even Instagram. And it was almost like, so my cousin's mom, my aunt, put up like, you know, such and such has been born, and it was like, wow. And the next thing you know, like about a day later, it was like he's passed on. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you can't even express. I can't even express the pain.
It
like
really upsets me,
you know, it's really so sad. So this charity. So it started on the 9th of October. And this is the run through of the week. So the 9th was an introduction. So the 9th of October was an introduction to the week with a focus on mental well-being, a day for those directly affected. Then the 10th was a focus on partners, also including those without partners. And I think that makes a difference as well. Like, I mean, obviously you were with Gareth. I think I can't imagine like going through anything like that without a partner, but also how does this affect the partner as well?
And what I feel as well is that I was with Gareth, but I wasn't.
So you didn't care about his feelings and stuff? Has he spoken about how he felt when he lost?
He was briefly. He was incredibly angry. The first one was early. The second one was later on. So without this, again, trigger warning, without going into it too much, there was things that we had to oversee and check that came out, and that we had to, and he didn't like that. He was very angry about that and felt that it was wrong and invasive and XYZ, but I suppose that's the way the hospital have to do it to make sure. And he didn't like it, and you know, we butt heads a lot. And I think that's where communication and the relationship broke down, to be honest.
Do you think he was suffering with it like more than you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But obviously at the time you didn't care about that because you were thinking about you.
No, absolutely. And then it rolled on to when I did get pregnant with Isaiah. I mean, I had to stop trying. The doctor told me for my mental health I had to stop trying. So we went away, we got married. I came off contraception but didn't think of anything, and it naturally happened. It's mad.
It's always the way, isn't it?
But even then, when it came to being pregnant with her, I was incredibly paranoid the whole way. Something was always going to go wrong. And then when she was here, I can openly admit she was mine. She was mine, and I mollycoddled that, and I had to breastfeed.
Not now, though. She's a nightmare now.
You can have her now, but yeah, so it affects them so much. Which again is sad. Is really sad.
But people we tend to forget about.
The men are forgotten. The men are forgotten.
And then Sunday, which was yesterday, it was considering the wider family, including children, friends, support for them, and how they can support somebody they know. One of my really, really, really close friends went through this, was it last year? No, it was 2 years ago. And I didn't know, you know, when it's like a close bestie, and I didn't know like how to deal with it. So I just sent flowers. And that was really hard, especially as they were in Birmingham and I was down here. So I couldn't even go and see them. Do you know what I mean? It was just, it's hard. And I found that I was angry. Like I was really, really angry. I was so angry. Like, and so upset, because it's almost like, you know, having a baby, it's almost, oh, I don't know, it's just, yeah. So I was angry, and I don't want to sound selfish and like center myself, but I felt like I needed support on how to support them, because it was just, it's when it's somebody really close to you, like, how do you deal with this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so it should be like more help. So it's good that they're doing like a day for that, and especially for young siblings as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
you know, I can't imagine how
1 minute they're,
your mum's pregnant,
yeah,
and next minute they're not.
yeah.
Like, that must have some sort of impact, especially because they don't understand.
Yeah, and my children do actually pull me up through the darkest times, you know, and so, you know, who pulls them up when you're low?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So, it is a strange one. I mean, I don't really want to go into my friends. I've got a couple of friends that have had some really, really hard times, but I don't feel like it's my place to talk about their experiences.
Yeah.
But I know that their strength carries on in their families, which you see.
Yeah.
Which you do see, because I can't imagine how some of them have coped with some of the situations they've been in, and it's sad. It's just incredibly sad that it actually goes on.
And I think what, like, the whole thing as well, because we do feel it, like, as soon as you're pregnant, even though it took a while for me to know that I was pregnant with Shiloh, but anyway, as soon as you're pregnant, you sort of, your body changes, and you feel, you can feel, it feels different, doesn't it?
And do you know what? This is I'm sure one of my friends won't mind me mentioning this. When one of my miscarriages happened, she bought me a big hamper with the baby's name on and blah blah blah, and obviously I had to tell her that I couldn't have it, that I'd miscarried, and I had a bit of a breakdown, and I remember saying to her, you know, why me? Like, I don't understand it. And she said to me, she's lost her son, and she said to me, you're not going to understand this at the minute, but I remember when I went into the church and the priest came and sat next to me, and I said to him, you know, I was angry, and I said, you know, why me? And the priest said, you're not going to deal with what I'm going to say now, but one day you will. But I'm going to reply to you and say, why not you? And she said at the time it was really hard for her to take. It was really, really hard, because she was like, pardon? She said, and then as time went on, and you see life, and you see everybody's problems and everything that's going on, actually, she felt like, why not? Yeah. Why not me? Not that it makes it any better, but I remember her always saying that to me, and I remember thinking, I think I would have probably punched the priest. Personally, myself. Yeah. But she said this to me in this particular situation, and I remember thinking, she's been through worse than me. Yeah. And she's saying that to me, so that makes her obviously just shows what kind of you know, woman she is. Yeah, to come out and say it to me when she's actually, her situation was a lot, you know, a lot worse. But you know. Yeah, I don't know the impact it has. And then, so today is a focus on the workplace employees, HR managers and colleagues, and I think that's a really important thing as well, because, like, actually you can't just brush it aside. I've lost a baby, because you have to go back to work, and you have to face everything, and it's losing something, isn't it? It's losing a part of you, especially if it was in a situation where it was stillborn or something like that. But even just a miscarriage, like, you know, you will have probably even if you are keeping it a secret, one of the first people you will tell are your employees, so that they can safeguard you in regards to, if you're like a fitness instructor, any job, you tell your employees first. You do, don't you? Yeah. Because they need to make sure that the workplace is safe. I remember when I told them, when I was working at a college, and they moved, especially when I was to 5-6 months, they moved all my classrooms for me, so I couldn't go. They didn't want me going in the lift.
They didn't want me going up the stairs. So all my classrooms were on the lower level, so I could get to them easy. You know what I mean? So your employees, so it's how they react to you and what can they put in place to support and help you. And I think in previous years there wasn't support in, and they would still expect you to come back to work. But now I think they're much more sympathetic with you and much more understanding that you do need time off and you do need time to grieve. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they're looking at today. Tomorrow they'll be looking at how issues around culture, ethnicity and religion can impact positively or negatively on pregnancy and baby loss. What do you think about that?
I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think if somebody's been through something horrendous and it's a trigger for them, they're entitled to that. I mean,
do you think different cultures treat pregnancy loss and things like that differently though?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, just because I have an opinion on it doesn't mean that mine's right. It's my opinion and I'll stick by it. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to listen. I'll listen to people's opinions, and actually maybe sometimes you live and learn something, but it doesn't mean that it's going to change my view.
When it comes to like the impact positively or negatively, ethnicity,
I think when it's like you said, you know, with Chrissy, putting the post up, and another woman has taken it because she didn't want to see something that's actually given her a trigger.
Do you think we're too open with grief now?
Social media is a pain in the bum. It is a pain in the bum. But at the same time, you know, maybe she didn't want everybody to keep saying, how's the baby? You know, she's a public figure. Yeah. She just wanted to get it out there, get it told.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, I see both sides to the pain. What can you do?
But because I don't know how Asian people deal with it. Like I haven't got any experience. Pain is pain, isn't it? Like grief, depression, everything. Whatever colour you are, I guess, or culture you belong to, there's still awesome grieving process, isn't there? You're still gonna feel heartache, I would imagine. I don't know. Like when growing up, I can't remember hearing about miscarriage. Like I heard a lot of things, especially being an only child. I was always surrounded by adults, so I can remember a lot of things being spoken about, loads of things, but miscarriages weren't a thing that comes to my head and think, oh, I remember my mum spoke about that. I just I can't remember much about it. So like within regards to my Jamaican Caribbean culture, nothing comes to me that but I can link something to positive or negatively later on in this segment. So Thursday, a focus on remembrance, the different ways in which people remember their babies, different cultures and traditions, and a wave of light. So throughout the week, this charity, I'll mention the charity at the end. Throughout the week, they'll be inviting people to share their stories, like I said at the beginning, and try to lessen the isolation. They'll also be sharing information of resources and featuring information and organisation and groups that can help. So on the 15th of October, there is an international wave of light where people around the world light a candle at 7 p.m. in memory of their baby or babies they have lost. Photos of these candles on social media create a wave of light and spread across the globe. So it's not just Britain that are taking part. This is the whole week is worldwide. So they must have put it into like the national calendar sort of thing. You can join this virtual wave of light by adding your photo at 7 p.m. with the hashtag wave of light. So these are some of the charities. There's the SANS, Miscarriages and Association are two charities amongst others if you want to donate. And there's also another one called Petals and the Lullaby Trust. So in regards to John Legend and his wife, I admit when I saw it, I was like, whoa. Like for me, when I first saw it, it was a bit too much. However, I appreciate that you know, that's how she felt, and I'm not a person to question someone's grief.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? You know, like, not having been in that situation, but it was so raw. But then, do you know what? Social media is raw, don't you think?
Very
and in
raw.
your face.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? But I found an article. I was reading a magazine over the weekend, Grazia, and I found an article, and it's called Chrissy Sharing Her Baby Loss. These are the few things I highlighted, and the words are by Rima Mund. So it says, when Chrissy Tane, is that her name? Is that how you pronounce it? Tane?
Tegan, I thought it was.
Tegan.
Or is it
Tegan. I don't know. I didn't even know what her name was. I don't really follow John Legend. I don't follow him actually. It just came up in my feed. But anyway, when Chrissy, black and white photos appeared on my Instagram feed, her face etched with the heartbreak of a loss of pregnancy, I did not need to read the words or feel her pain. My son Jake was stillborn 6 months into my pregnancy on the 12th of March 2019, weighing less than 2 pounds, with thick brown hair and eyebrows that resembled his big sister. Jake never took a breath in this world. Model Chrissy and her musician husband John Legend described losing their son Jack this month as the kind of pain you only hear about. For me, the experience of losing our son didn't begin with pain. Days earlier, I'd felt a flurry of movement of my boy. When the midwife listened for his heartbeat, it had gone. It's common, I said. People lose babies all the time. 8 babies are stillborn every day in the UK, 1 in every 250 pregnancies, and 1 in 5 women experience miscarriage, a loss before 24 weeks, according to the charity's Tommy's. My labour was induced and I would have to give birth to him. I was in survival mode. I couldn't allow myself a connection. Driving home from the hospital with no baby, Chrissy wrote on Twitter, "How can this be real?" I wanted to tell her I understood and that she would come through it. I don't need a trigger to remind me of Jake. His loss is a constant twitch inside my chest. But her openness jolted me back to that day. Chrissy will have a choice. You can shut down or continue to live your life. It doesn't matter how many Instagram followers you have. Nothing will dull the pain Chrissy is feeling. People have criticised her for sharing such a raw grief on social media, but her candid words will help some women who might otherwise feel they're going through feel like they're going through this alone. There were days so low I wanted to drive myself into a bridge. That's why it's so important to talk. It's 19 months since we lost Jake and the pain's still there. There came a point last year where I snapped into real life. I always wanted 3 children and last summer suffered a miscarriage at 11 weeks. It's not about replacing Jake but fulfilling a void. Life will go on and Jake will forever be my son. So I didn't read all of it. Obviously, it's quite long. So what do you think? So some people, and I read Twitter as well. You know, I love Twitter, and some people were saying actually they don't want to be reminded. So my thing is, as with anything on social media, if you don't want to be reminded, scroll on. Yeah. You don't have to sit there and read into it. If you see something you don't like, just scroll on.
Yeah.
Just like if you see something on TV you don't like, switch over.
And on like Facebook and stuff, you've got the 3 dots in the corner that you can say hide this post.
Yeah.
So
it won't
I do
come
it all
back
the time
up. Yeah.
on Facebook.
Because it's
people
too
that
much.
share fighting videos, people that share deaths. I see it, and as you scroll past, it starts moving. I'm like.
But this lady here sort of saying like it was a trigger warning for it was like heartbreaking for her.
Yeah,
like it was a you know.
Of course.
That's what she didn't want to be reminded of it, but with social media it's so there in your face, isn't it? And like I said, I don't follow them, but it came up in my feed, and then you said, "Did you hear about Chris?" And I was like, "Oh, that's what it was." Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like you said, people do deal with grief.
I think personally this is an uncomfortable topic anyway. It's just an uncomfortable topic because how are you, for example, the woman sat next to me's lost her child from having a stillbirth. How am I going to take her pain or how she feels away from her? That's her right. So I think it's one of those that actually it's one of those you can have an opinion, but sometimes you need to shut up about it. Like,
Yeah.
it isn't anybody's place to judge
No.
that person. You can't judge, and especially you can't judge it if you've never been through
No,
it. You know,
no.
like, I just think that this is so sensitive that however the person feels is right.
You're right. It's true. Definitely. Really.
Because
Okay.
I know I'd probably be thinking, anybody that messaged me, I understand how you feel. I think you don't have a clue how I feel. I feel really angry. Like,
Yeah,
pee
yeah.
off, don't
Well, people
message me.
deal with it different,
Yeah.
don't they? And it's
Yeah,
like a better
exactly.
matter of fact. And also, going back to that, when I think, what day is it? And they're talking, was it the day when they're talking about for Tuesday? So tomorrow they're looking at issues around culture, ethnicity, and religion. So looking just at that aspect of religion. If you're from like a Christian background, your understanding of it is going to be very different to do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a different experience, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, because you're gonna not understand it. I'm trying to say, I don't want to say anything bad. So basically, things happen for a reason. That kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not a Christian or you're not enough believer or you don't have a faith, that's not, you don't care about things happening for a reason. You're just concerned about losing your baby. So you are going to have that different. Oh, there's a date that I missed out as well. On the 14th of October, they're going to be looking at the impact of pregnancy loss and looking at the needs of the LGBTQ plus people.
Really?
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
So, because obviously it affects everybody, doesn't it? At some point. So,
it really does.
So here's another stat for you. I know you like your stats. Did you know that black mothers are 5 more times likely to die in childbirth?
Yeah.
Systematic racism today extends to healthcare system, a battlefield in which black women aren't just fighting to be heard and believed, they're fighting for their lives. That's a quote I got yesterday. How mad is that?
Yeah.
1 in 5 times likely to die in childbirth. That is scary.
Yeah, it is. It is scary. It is scary.
What were you were gonna bring up something, weren't you?
Who, Nicole?
Yeah.
She had, I think they think she had preeclampsia. I don't want to quote that just in case, but she was only a couple of months ago. Her and her child ended up passing. So, I mean, seeing her husband-to-be or husband
It's absolutely horrific.
He's just lost his best friend.
Yeah.
And he's lost his firstborn son. You know, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know if there's any negligence on that side or what's going on. But I just see the pictures of her and she was absolutely healthy, beautiful, proud, happy, you know, so energetic. She was honestly beautiful. To think that then, you know, 2 days later, she's not here.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it was sad.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I would like to think that on certain levels that me and my white female friends are on the same par. And you know, we can level up and be like, you know, yeah, I'm black, you're white, but we have, you know, we both have periods, we both have, you know, both mothers and things like that. But to think that if me and my white friend were to get pregnant at the same time, our experiences of going through to the midwife, through labour, through birth, to the extended period when you get the health visitor and things like that, you could have totally different experiences just because of the colour of my skin. Like, that is mental.
Yeah.
Like, they even say that the aftercare after black women have their babies.
Was yours okay?
Mine, I'm thinking back, and I'm actually thinking back, and actually it wasn't that bad. I'm trying to think back of an experience. There was a few incidents that a few things were passed, but generally it was okay. But I did like the fact that I had a black health visitor, because she just got it.
Yeah.
She got it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have to say that I was always ready to have children. since the age of flipping 13, I've wanted children. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I wasn't going to go out there and get pregnant, but I always wanted children. I was very maternal, grew up around my cousins. There was always babies in our families. So I remember the health visitor coming once or the midwife coming when I was just Shiloh, and I was just, Saffron, and I was literally just chilled out on the sofa. And she was like, oh, it's very calm in here for a first time mum. And my mum was like, we're used to babies in our family. It's no, like, literally, it's not that it's not a big deal, but like I was, you know what I mean? So I got treated fine, but it was nice to see a black health visitor.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like there's certain instances that she just understood, and, you know, she was so nice. But the fact that I remember when I was in labour and with Saffron, she was like, you can't scream like that. Like, it hurts. What are you telling me to not scream for? It flipping hurts. Oh, we don't scream like that. Yes, we do, because it's the first baby, and I've flipping got something that went in as a banana coming out of flipping big old melon, and you're telling me not to scream. What kind of foolishness is that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, do you know what I mean? Telling me not to scream, and then, you know, when they put that injection in you, like, they put that injection in it so you... Sorry for any men's list, the afterbirth comes through. Yeah. My best friend was there. She's a G, man. She travelled all the way down from London at 5 o'clock in the about 12 o'clock. I phoned her to say, my husband at the time phoned and said, oh, she's going into labour. And Sean was like, how am I going to get down there? But I was like, I don't know if you're here when the baby comes. Well, Saffron took a long time to come anyway. She was a day late. And I was in slow labour for a week with her, and she was still a bloody day late. And when she came out like this, with her hands up, like, yeah, I'm here. She didn't even cry or anything. But anyway, so when I woke up, they gave me the pethidine, and when I woke up, Sham, my best friend, like, she was looking over me, so she was there. So I remember she literally saw Saffron come out first and everything, and the lady was like, we're just gonna get the afterbirth. I was like, Charmaine, tell her right now that I'm not having no stupid injection. I don't want no... I was going on, like, literally, I was going on bad. I was like, tell her now, I don't even know how I had the injection. I think I blacked out or something. But yeah, so I just remember certain incidents, them being a bit, like, not sympathetic to me. Yeah. And from reading and doing research on this...
And with all due respect, you sound like you were being a bit of a...
diva. No, I wasn't. I wasn't being a diva, man. When that pain licks you, you know. And I didn't have... It was practically natural with Saffron. Gas and air wasn't working. I didn't have an epidural, and I didn't... So literally, it was like a natural birth. Like, that's it. So, you know, that pain, man. God, I can't believe women go through things, man. But yeah, and then with Shiloh, I remember them being a bit, like, fussy with me, like, when it came to, like, breastfeeding and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just didn't find them that helpful. And when I wanted a wash and stuff like that, they weren't really around to wash. And I always thought that that's what a nurse's job was to do. But then I take into consideration that the NHS is understaffed and things like that. But again, one of my close friends had a really traumatizing experience when her son was born, and that was pure racism. Do you know what I mean? Really? And yeah. And again, when things happen more close to home, you're like, shit. And I don't know if you've read the book I'm Not Your Baby Mother by Candice Braithwaite. Well, she talks about all these kind of things, how you're treated, how you're looked down at. Even things like, if you're, like, they'll look at you, because, you know, the whole title of the book, I'm Not Your Baby Mother, you know, the fact that they think you're a baby mother, or, you know, you're a single parent and stuff like that, they look down on you. And it's almost things like... They say there's so many horror stories that you hear about black women, like literally how they're treated, because apparently we've got a high pain level threshold. Yeah. So that's why when we are, like, I'm bawling, this pain's licking me, right, they're not listening, because they don't deem us as, like, white women. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that plays in, like, that's unconscious bias. Like, how does that even play in something where, like, you want the most sympathy, you want the most help?
I don't get where it's come from, though, how our pain threshold's higher.
Slavery, because they don't see us as human. They see us as animals. They don't perceive us as on the same level as a white woman who's, like, Yeah, who's soft and innocent sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's where it goes back to. Yeah, I know, it's mad. But listen to this stat. So the numbers in America are equally disturbing. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the risk of pregnancy-related deaths for black women is 3 to 4 times higher than white women. Studies show that way medical workers deliver care differs based on the person sitting in front of them. Reference from Vogue, July 2020.
Listen to me, America's another level.
I know. Symptoms are dismissed as being serious. There's also so when black women have symptoms, they dismiss them. So something like preeclampsia, she would have said, and she would have felt pain. 'Cause my mum said when she had me, and this was back in the 80s, not to share my age, but this was back in the 80s, that she had preeclampsia and she was in hospital for a long time because of her blood pressure and so on. She couldn't come out. So if they're dismissing that, you are going to die. That's the reality. The stereotypes of being the strong, angry black women. So if apparently when we say to doctors and things like that, that we're in pain, or this is hurting, or I don't feel this, I don't feel that, they're quite dismissive. Oh, you need to be stronger, you need to do this. And do you know what? Being the strong black woman will be the death of a lot of us. It will be. Because why do I have to appear to be strong and powerful like that? Do you not think I hurt? Do you think that I not have pain? Do you think I don't feel? What makes me different to you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that happens. Also adds to trauma. The fact that if it's your second child and you're experiencing it again, it's like, oh my God, like, you know, so you're less likely to say because they think that you're making it up. And yeah, so it happens a lot. And 1 in 5, there was a hashtag going around summer. Remember I asked you to do it? I needed to send it to somebody. 5? Yeah, the hashtag 5. You know, 1 in 5 is not acceptable, and I think that it needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
Because that's quite scary. And you've got a daughter. I've got 2 daughters. I would hate for anything like that to happen to anybody close to me or anybody. Like, why 1 in 5? Why is the stat so high?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be so high. It's scary. Here's one for you. Okay, and I know you'll like to Google this, sort of going in theme with our also Black History Month as well. So I don't know how to pronounce it. So I-tasha Westcott, 1828 to, we don't know when she actually died, was an enslaved American woman who was forced to undergo a series of painful experimental surgical procedures by J. Marion Sims to treat a combination of faucilia, which is some sort of disease, without her consent or the use of anaesthetic. So basically, this surgeon, I'll spell it for you. You want to write it down? Google it now. A-N-A-R-C-H-A Westcott. An archer. So she was a slave.
Okay.
So basically, they wanted to do treatment on her, and they started to do treatment on her without her consent, without anaesthetic. That is how much they would they have done that to a white woman?
Well, obviously back then, obviously not. No.
But do you know what I mean? Like, but that's how less they thought of her. Do you know what I mean? That's just mental. That's absolutely crazy. Are you Googling it now?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's videos about it on YouTube. Have a look. I only came across it. You know me, I'm on TikTok. Somebody did not a reconstruction, but something about it on TikTok, and I was like, whoa.
Vesco-Virginia fistula. So.
Yeah. They literally. How can you imagine going, like, somebody operating on you and there's no anaesthetic? That's how little they thought of you. So can you see how that's literally just been passed down, Sean? I can see you reading it.
I'm just like, wow.
Wow.
Like, honestly.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
Little is known about Westcott, but what is known comes from the records kept by the plantation slave owner.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of her pregnancy, Westcott was a 17-year-old girl living in Alabama. She had a severe form of rickets caused by lack of vitamin D and
malnutrition.
Yeah, which had disfigured her pelvis, making it impossible for her to give birth. She went into labour during 1845, and after trying to give birth for 3 days, Sims showed up to assist her in labour.
Go on, read the rest.
After the stillbirth, Westcott was brought back to Sims because she had several underhealed tears in her vagina and rectum. These tears caused her to have excruciating pain, which was from her uncontrollable bowel movements flowing through her open wounds. Being unable to control her bowel movements led to infections, inflamed tissue and odour. This made Westcott a prime victim for Sims to perform experimental surgeries on, as fistulas were fairly common among the enslaved due to malnutrition and their younger age, as they were likely to have children 3 years earlier than white women. He performed 30 experimental operations on Westcott before successfully closing the fistula and tears. During the procedures, Westcott was given no anaesthetic, which had recently become available. Following the procedures, Sims administered opium, which was then an accepted therapeutic practice. The experimental procedures that Sims performed on Westcott and other slaves revolutionised the surgery. The technique Sims developed became the first ever treatment for the vescovaginal fistulae.
Basically, so it's something to do down there. But can you say, like, why would you do that? How evil is that? That's how less they thought.
I just hope she passed out.
Oh, you would do, wouldn't you?
Jeez,
you would do.
The pain.
Yeah.
Between
I'd have to see blood, and I'm just
rectum.
like, yeah, I know. Can you imagine the pain?
She was obviously in pain anyway because she couldn't give birth.
Yeah.
It doesn't. She, as well as grieving for the fact that she had just lost her child.
Yeah. Which naturally you would do,
and 17
wouldn't you?
years old.
Yeah, exactly.
And
she probably was raped by her slave master.
Yeah. And now she's laid on a bed for everybody to watch. For 30 different experiments.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like, wow. So, but there's more information about her on like YouTube. Like there's like, and obviously the internet if anybody wants to look into it. So, yeah. So I just want to leave this show, because we are coming to a close, is that, you know, as I said, it's focus on like your well-being. If you have been going through any of the issues that we've discussed, please seek help. There is help out there. You literally just have to click on the hashtag. Hashtag you are not alone, hashtag BLAW2020 to get advice, to get help, to get support. Like I said, I gave you a rundown. If you are a family member, if you're a partner and you're not sure how to deal with this, you know, you can contact any of the charities that I've mentioned. Again, I'm going to mention them: SANS, Miscarriage and Association, and Petals and Lullaby Trust are the main ones that come up. But just know that you're not alone, and don't forget, on the 15th of October, the Wave of Light at 7 p.m. And I don't think it just has to be people who have been affected by it, because I think if your friend's been through it and stuff like that, and you feel like, you know, you want to remember, you know, them as well, I think that's okay for you to light a candle and hashtag the Way of Light. I don't see it as jumping as the bandwagon. I see it as being supportive. And that's the only way we can break down barriers and support each other, is by communication and talking about it. And like you said, some things are uncomfortable. But some things are uncomfortable. They are. Like, you know, like the fact, I think I did a post about 1 in 5 black women are more likely to die in childbirth. And people are like, wow, oh my God, I can't believe this. I was like, well, the stats are there and they're not lying, because I never made up the stats myself. So, do you know what I mean? Like, go and find out. So that's coming to our end of the show. Again, shout out to DJ Jonesy, who's DJing Thursdays at Air 3 to 9. DJ Flex every Saturday from 5 to 9 at Chams in Tavistock. Yeah, thanks for doing our jingles, but anyway. So I'm still giving a shout out, and they're still not even doing my jingles, but whatever, it's fine, it's okay. Mama Rita's opening this week in Plymouth, so we're looking forward to going there, aren't we, Sean?
Big time.
And eating some Caribbean food. And congratulations to Sam Carty, who runs local dance fitness brand called Rumpum, who won Best New Dance Fitness Brand of 2020. So that's some good news. And that's it, really. Anything, Sean? Do you want to finish off?
I don't want to say anything. I do.
I don't want to say anything. That makes a change.
No,
You've usually got a lot to say.
One thing I do want to do is I want to give a shout out to my son's school. I'm not going to say where it is. I'm not going to say where it is, but I am going to do a big shout out because they are.
You do. You need to give them a shout out.
Black History Month. And they're really hot against that. They don't want it to be just for a month. They want to add it into the curriculum. They're getting myself and I-tasha involved.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And I'm just really proud to be part of the school. I'm gutted that he's in year 6 and this is going on now. But, I just absolutely love them. Love what they're doing. Love the ideas that they've got going for them. And I think this change is going to be everything. So I just want to do a little shout out to them.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. And I think it's a way to move forward. We start with them, don't we? They're the next generation, they're the future. So definitely. It's all about educating them. And Sean, you are going to set up the Instagram page, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to do that today.
Because we've got 3 weeks, we've got loads of posts now with all the information that we've
let's see if I can have a little go.
Been given. Today. Also, I'm going to do, can I just do a shout out? Let me just get it up quickly.
Shout out.
Shout out. Right, I'm going to give you a shout out to, let me just get it up quickly. Right, so my friend, she's based in Birmingham, and she's got a successful tutoring service that is all based online. So it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to be in Birmingham. You can access that through all over the world, actually. Because she does have foreign students as well. It's called Succeed Tutoring Services. And this week she's doing another free challenge for parents. Whether you're new to, and basically this is what it says in her bio, whether you're new to homeschooling, have a child struggling at school, or want parent support, it will be jam-packed with support for you and your child. I decided to combine all of my experiences teaching, tutoring, mentoring, and of course parenting to give some free value to anyone that needs it. Not for you, share with a friend, it might help. Hope you can join me. Surviving Educating Your Child at Home 5-day challenge. And then it goes on to say, come join the challenge. The 5-day challenge will help parents change their children's learning, emotional well-being at home, using a range of techniques, tips and simple strategies that will help them make progress academically, build resilience and grow independence. And you can check her out at Succeed Tutoring Services. So give it a check out, because at the end of the day, if we go back into another lockdown, as much as you like it or don't like it, you will be working. Well, actually, they did say that they'll do anything to keep the schools open, didn't they? So, but with kids going into isolation and isolating at home and things like that, you might be thinking, oh, what can I do? So check out Succeed Tutoring. You can find them on Instagram if you just search them. And that's it. And another show has come to an end, Sean. I think we've discussed everything but the kitchen sink. Sean's trying to quickly open up an Instagram page.
2000.
Hopefully we'll get a jingle by next week, but I doubt it. We're just going to have to make one up ourselves. Sean, can you sing? Sister,
I'll have a go.
Don't know how much I miss you. I'm not even supposed to sing that. It's copyright. But
is that
it was the sister program.
Tia and
Tamara. And Roger was in there. Go home, Roger. So thank you everybody for listening, and we will catch you up next week. Remember, until Sian sets up our Instagram page, you can catch me at Miss I-tasha J, either on Twitter or Instagram, and you can catch Sian on
Sian_Healy.
Okay, thank you for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye. Why am I using the wrong remote?